Good call, Scott. Good call.
So now we have to repeat everything we said, right?
Start over.
Exactly.
We gotta
Who's
start
gonna
all over
remember
again.
what we said?
Bacon donuts.
Right. And Andy, if I could do the safety moment around 8 tonight, I have to go back to work at 8:30, so I got to work overseas.
I heard from Henry. He says, I'm a disabled wood turner. I don't show up, but he's glad he's part of this club. Henry, it's great to have you on board if we can help you in any way whatsoever. Remember, you don't have to have the image. You're on, you can talk to us. That's it. And if you got a question or whatever, it's all right. Gary in Oklahoma, you there? You say you have something to show tonight. Gary?
Yeah, let me see if I can get a little bit better light. Matt mentioned last week or a week before on the hollowing tool. He said he used a 24-inch handle. Well, I made a 24-inch handle just for the heck of it to see what it was like, and I'm calling it the Brute because it's 37 inches long from the tip to the end.
Can you outside and use it?
I'm sorry?
You can stand outside and use that thing?
Just about. In fact, I've got to move an item to actually use it. And I finished an item yesterday using it. This is end grain. There is no pith to it. It was beside, outside of the pith. And I used it, and it sure worked nice. But I know some people have said it's best to use it with end grain. And I had previously used it to hollow out several bowls. I think it worked better for me on the bowls than on the end grain. So whatever I guess works.
Hey, it's a scraper. Think about that. It's a scraper.
Yeah. And so
Actually, it's a cutter. It's a cutter, Eddie.
Yeah.
It's shearing though.
Okay.
Right. And I sure did like the closing and opening and all of that. In fact, it's worn off right now, but I did have a line on both sides, because you've got 180 degree, two different flutes. So I had the lines on that even, and I sure did like it. I think I might make another handle that's shorter because I may not need this for a lot of the work that I do. Plus, this handle was using, as that one article, I just dropped it now on the floor, these bits, and it did take a while for me to work these out. Actually, I hollowed with a 3/4 inch bit, Forstner bit to begin with, and I had a 2.5 inch nipple. I took the lathe and took it down to 13/16 and used a 13/16 Forstner bit to go back in. It was, I think, about 4 inches back into it, and then a 5/8 inch went back 7 inches. So it's 7 inches into the handle right now. But
I'm delighted, Gary, that you're having so much fun with that.
yeah, it really was fun. And in fact, what I think I'm going to do now is I have some of the carbide bits from one guy that's on this program quite a bit. Some of the big ones that I never did put onto a 5 or 1/2 inch square stock. I think that I ought to be able to go in on my mill and turn a flat spot on one side and then turn it over and then flatten for the bit, and I could go in with the heavy duty because I had all these 3 different sizes of the carbide bits, and I never did make the one for the round large one. And so if I make another handle, then I've got 2 different sizes of handles, and that sure is handy. It really is.
Yeah, Ronnie did his with a golf club.
Yeah.
Chef. And Ronnie's asked, can we drill a 5/8 bar to do that. And that's on my, remember I said I got a hit list? That's on the hit list. I have the bar, Ronnie. I have the bar.
Well,
Somebody,
I found that the 5/8 inch Forstner bit, my extension would not work because my extension requires at least, I think, a 7/8 inch diameter Forstner bit. So I had to go to a standard 5/8 inch drill, which I guess was about 9 inches long in total. And that's how I was able to get the 7 inches internal. Yeah.
somebody was nervous about me showing that tool last week with a golf club, and it is on the light side. If you're going to use that, you have to be very careful and be very cautious with it, and take little cuts on it. You don't try to hog anything out or nothing. So if you can, it would be better for you to get a 5/8 bar and drill it. That's the way to go.
We're going to do that for you, Ron. We're going to get it done. And that's in exchange, you're going to turn me a handle.
Oh, am I?
Yeah, I forgot to tell you that part.
That's a sweet deal.
And if you're looking for the ball mill cutters, folks, the one Matt preferred and recommended is from Amazon.com. And if you want to write all these numbers down, okay. But otherwise, just go to the chat. It's right there. And before you leave tonight, save that chat. I think Van has something to the show tonight. Van, are you with us right now? You have to talk to me.
Yes, yes, I do.
All right, Van, we got you now, buddy.
Okay,
What do you have?
okay. As a new wood turner, I've been turning a little over a year. I'm still trying to figure out my niche and what I like and so forth. So I experiment with a lot of things. But one of the things I'm finding I'm liking the most,
Nice.
rough edges, the natural edges, the bark being left on.
All right, guys. Right,
Gorgeous.
This
That's
is
very
one.
nice.
Man, you sure you only been turning a year?
that's a,
Yeah, a year and a couple of months. But
Wow.
I'm telling you, the amount of hours I've done it a day, I've really burned up the hours.
That's nice work, man.
Thank you.
Look at that.
And then big ones and little ones. I'm experimenting, putting a little bit of a touch of color, a dab of onyx there. I've left them quite fat, quite thick, quite heavy. So they're not a dainty kind of a thing, but I like the solid, big, thick look.
it gives,
I guess next
it
I'm
gives a
gonna
good
start.
impression. And I like the gathering on the top of the knot. That is a good piece, good touch.
That is very nice.
Hey, Van, if
Thanks.
you've only been turning a year and you're doing that kind of hollowing like you're doing in that, with, it's captured underneath, I'd like to see where you're gonna be in 5 or 10 years' time. That's beautiful work.
Exactly.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Hollowing like that under the lip, it's not that easy.
No, it wasn't, but it was fun. And
Dan, this is something
didn't
else.
like anything. What's that?
The hardest thing about wood turning is design.
Yeah.
And you have it.
Yes.
You have the natural ability for design. Those are nice pieces.
Those are. You didn't copy anybody. It came out of your eyes and your heart. And that's where it's
Thank you.
supposed to be.
I
I like the way you got the top with the natural edge to match the bowl with the natural edge. That's a really nice, simple design, but very effective. Beautiful.
It's rare, very rare.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, you're a reincarnated wood turner. In some past life, you did a lot of wood turning.
I think you're right on that one.
All right,
one of the things that may have helped my profession for 35 years was that of a photographer. So 35 years studied other artists with composition, and you've already said it tonight, the rule of thirds, the golden mean, all of the different things that go into an art piece. I don't always follow it for every one, but I've tried to incorporate art as a photographer and art as a turner and other music art that I do, and just come up with what I do. So
The
anyway,
hardest part
Whatever
about
you do is doing great, bud. It's gorgeous.
I'll tell
Yeah,
you what,
just
a lot
don't-
of people might
you
not
never did.
realize, a lot of
Just-
people might not realize just how much you already know. I spent 30 years as a photographer myself, and
Yeah,
so
just-
much of that transfers over into what we do with wood turning.
Yeah, just don't give up.
oh no, I'm just
Oh, wait.
getting started. I bought a new home, and we moved into it 5 weeks ago about, and it's a 3-car garage. And at this time in our life, we just have one car, and it kind of sits in the 2-part. And my great wife said, you can have the single for my shed, for my tool, for my workroom. So I came out of a tiny little corner into a 12 by 25, 10 feet high ceilings, well, almost 11. And it's kind of almost, I'm getting lost in there. It's a whole new thing for me. So I'm
Lucky dog.
so excited. I'm still setting up the shop.
Oh, you'll fill it up.
Yeah, that's one of Murphy's laws. The amount of stuff you have expands to fill available space.
I
Exactly.
believe it.
Uh-huh.
I believe it.
Van,
Yes.
you might want to look at Dean Grimes' video, because he's got some curtains that he hangs up in his shop that sounds like you could use.
I have considered doing that for the last several years, but what I'm going to actually do is build a permanent wall between the two with a door to keep all the dust and shavings and everything away from the house. But that curtain idea, I have considered it
Well, Van,
many times.
you might have used the old Dean Collins light panels. You know what I'm talking about?
I grew up with Dean Collins.
Yeah.
Know him personally, attended a lot of his seminars, been with him quite a
Exactly.
lot.
Well,
Yes.
the light panels I took and made out of PVC and put clear plastic over. They
Yes.
work great.
Yes, most of that expensive stuff just used PVC and any kind of translucent or reflective type stuff. So you're a photographer also.
For 30 years.
Whoa, what kind mostly?
We did everything from babies to weddings to commercial work. My wife, Sunny Arendt, was a master craftsman photographer, and I was basically one print away from my master's when I said, no, I'm not going to pursue this anymore.
Oh, you should have. Yeah, I got my master craftsman and my wife got her master artist craftsman. So we were quite a team. Where are you from?
We were in Alvin. I live in League City now, just south of Houston.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's another retired photographer. If they're turning into a wood turner part-time. I guess we got some photographers involved.
Well,
I'm
you
a
can't be
retired photographer
creative.
too.
You can't be creative all of your life and then just stop, you know.
Yeah, very true.
Wait. Kim, you can't be retired from anything.
Yes,
No, not yet, Kim.
I quit doing photography probably about the same. Well, I still do it every once in a while for like family and stuff. But as soon as I started turning, I actually quit doing photography. I didn't get a master's anything. I loved it. And I've done photography since I was like 17 years old. But everything you guys talking about, the rule of thirds, I tell people that in my videos, like a lot of this comes natural because it rolls over from photography. And I also was a hairdresser prior to that, and face shape and all that stuff. there's a lot of what my past, jobs and professions that I've done that bring wood turning into a whole like thing for me. So
it all transfers over. It does.
yes, it does. Absolutely, it does.
Good to see you, Kim. Alfred is with us tonight, and he has something to show. Alfred, I see your note in the chat, and Alfred, you have to say a few words for me to find
Yeah,
you.
how you doing?
There he is.
Hello, everybody. How is everybody doing?
Oh, doing good. You
Good.
you kind of got me in a little trouble there, Alfred.
Okay. Okay. Am I on? It's my okay.
You are.
Okay. This is a bird's mouth. I've been wanting to do one of these for a long time, so I finally got around doing it. The wood is pear, and that's it.
Very nice. I love the grain.
That's really sweet, Albert.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
Yeah, it
piece.
is.
yeah. The inside is I smooth it out. I like when I have a big opening here. I always like to smooth the inside as much as the outside. So that took a while, but it's all smooth. This has a satin lacquer on it. Multiple coats. I would say it has about 15 or maybe 18 coats of lacquer on it, and the wood is pure on this one.
Very
And,
nice.
yeah, thank you. And I think I had shown something with this effect before. Okay, I think I'll show the vase. This is kind of the same. I did a class for a few people here. And,
Alfred, you showed a coffee urn with that on it. Alfred,
okay. I showed the teapot. Yes, I remember that now.
you have me in deep trouble over there.
Oh, I got you in trouble, huh?
Deep trouble.
Yes, I did. So yeah, this is more or less the same effect. I was doing a class on this, and this is my piece that I was working on to show how to do it. That it was a really nice piece of wood. I really didn't want to, cover it. The wood is beech, and it's very, very thin.
Oh yeah,
Sure is.
Kind of flexes.
Very nice.
Very, very light. I don't think it weighs more than 4 or 5 ounces, to tell you the truth. But that's it. It's got a black lacquer underneath, and then the process for using the iridescent paints on it. And then I did a gold on the rim around the bowl and around the outside here. But I always leave. I don't always cover the whole surface or paint or whatever, carving or texturing. I always leave some wood in a natural state to show that is wood. Yeah, not something else that's painted.
it adds to the history of the piece. It really does.
Yeah.
It is gorgeous.
Alfred, is that gold leaf or paint?
Pardon?
Is that gold leaf or is it gold iridescent paint?
It's gold. Actually, it's metallic paint.
Okay.
The gold is metallic, and I applied it by brush while it was still turning.
Okay, thank you.
So
Alfred, you did a teapot last week, and if this is the saucer, is there going to be a teacup next week?
oh yeah, there you go. That's an idea. I never thought of it that way.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay. A dark screen if we keep this up. Very nice tonight.
Thank you.
That is very nice, Alfred.
All right, James Debro is putting something in chat tonight. Let me go look at this. James is with the Alamo Wood Turners, and he says, for your information, SWAT is going to happen. Registration will open soon, as I said a few moments ago. So it is going to happen. Stick with us. Get that link on our website. Dan Roselle, he sent a couple of pieces in for gallery. Dan, if you're with us, do a little talking. We'll come up to you.
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Gotcha. There you are. Yep.
Hey, thanks. And I do want to give Cade thanks on this one too. It's a very special. I'm in a Wig Stand, but it's very special to me. I attended Cade's seminar, and right after the seminar, I found out my coworker, who's a really good friend of mine, she got diagnosed with colon cancer. So I figured I wanted to make one for her. She'd always been supportive of my woodworking, and so I got the materials and I started to do it. And that wasn't even a month later, and cancer got the better of her, and she passed. So I shelved the idea for the longest time, and I finally came to it to make it, and I wanted to make sure I did it justice, and I hope I did. And I used ambrosia maple. The top. I know my camera's not that good here. I done some inlay work. Pittsburgh Steeler colors. That was her favorite team, her favorite colors. I used some stuff called epoxy sculpt on that. I don't know if anyone's used that before, but epoxy sculpt is similar to milliput. But yeah, it's really nice. My wife cut out the decals for on the bottom, and this is going to be donated. I'm working with her sister now to find the proper place to donate it to, because it's a piece that's in memory of her sister. I'm going to probably send it to her. She's in Pennsylvania, and have her donate it to Vicky's doctor or something. But it's going to be donated. It's got, a lot of stuff on it, the spindle, things that I haven't done before, but I thoroughly enjoyed doing this, bringing back memories of her and everything. So I want to thank the club for that extra little nudge for me to finally break this project out and get it finished.
That's beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Hey, Eddie, let's go to Gordon.
Well, hold on. Before we talk to Gordon, have to do this because I got it up here. There you are, Dan. We put you in a Wig Stand Warrior Club.
Thank you, Eddie.
You deserve to be there. Beautiful. Okay, who we got now? We got Gordon up.
We got Gordon and Alamo Wood Turners.
Hey, Gordon.
Hey, my piece isn't as gorgeous and awesome as some of the ones we've seen tonight, but it's something I wanted to do based on what people have been doing lately with the crosses. And I found a little piece of mesquite that I have, and I made a little cross that shows the heartwood and the sapwood. And I thought that's kind of neat. No finish on it yet. My wife doesn't want any finish, but I've collected a bunch of logs, and there's going to be a lot of these coming out of my shop. I like them.
I like the combination of the.
Nice job.
Yes.
Really. Good job, Gordon.
I like the sapwood on it.
Very nice.
Yeah, it was fun to turn. It's relatively easy. I was surprised.
Well,
Anyway.
Easy work comes to good turners.
Well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Anyway, thank you.
Very nice.
Dane, do we have somebody else up right now?
No, not at the moment. Let's hand back to you.
Well, I'm going to switch the screen and come right back to me. We have a demonstration tonight lined up, and I'm looking at some names of the folks that are popping in this evening. I see Brenda's popped in, Larry Canterbury popped in, and a few others. Doug Moore, all you folks contributed to the Freedom Pen Project. I want to thank you. It's a great project, continues on. Our first sergeant won't be with us this evening. We did a little teasing about him earlier, but we'll continue that next week because he's one of the juniors in the club.
Hey, Eddie, I'm here.
Hey, we got someone now. We got
Wait, is he with us?
I am. I just got out of my last meeting and I'm driving back home, so I can't really show my face because these people in front of me will put their brakes on and I won't be able to see them. But no, in all seriousness, I'm just listening in, but I just logged in and I gave away some of the pens today, but Saturday is going to be the big push. So again, thanks to everybody that sent those pens and I really appreciate it.
Quite welcome, sir. I'm glad you're doing some good with it. And you always do. That's why we keep sending it to you and we keep collecting it for you. Thank you, bud. And when you get to where you can see it, let us know. Okay?
Will do.
All right. Who we got up now? I can see it. It looks like, who you got?
Don Wilson.
Don.
Yeah, I just finished this a few minutes ago. It's a piece of cherry. It's a knuckle buster when it's turned about 2,500 RPM. So be careful.
That's really pretty.
It had about three limbs coming out of it, and it's got a Parfex finish on it, one coat.
Did you get any injuries from it?
Excuse me?
Did you get any injuries?
No, just there's a little spot on my knuckle there. You got to get out of the way when that thing's spinning, but when you're coming in behind that thing, but it's a piece of Yoshino cherry.
Very nice.
Good looking piece.
Very nice.
That is awesome.
It's gorgeous.
My wife likes it, so I guess it'll stay. So
there you go. All right, let's go over and check out Mr. Grimes.
Well, wait. We can't let him get away without getting a look at his he's in the Band-Aid. There he is.
Yeah, he needs a Band-Aid.
Oh. Okay. Duly noted.
What you got?
All right, let's go back to Dean here.
Yeah, I just wanted to show a couple of the wig stands that I made. Put it up on a video, and I put the link to the video in the chat. So.
Oh, nice.
Those look great.
This one had a knot in it. And after I looked at it a minute, I just left it in there, design feature, you know.
That's what, so you can see what's on it.
Exactly.
Right on.
That's a very nice video too.
Thank you.
Eddie, back at you.
All right, there he is. Made it. He's a wig stand warrior. That's what we're looking for.
Right on. All right, let's go to let's see. I think Billy's got something to show us.
Billy Dillard?
Billy?
Yeah, I've got a Mad Harbor inspired small footed bowl. First one I've done. I made it 4 legs. I guess I did it the hard way. I was told 3 was better, but it's a piece of sweet gum, and it just has a carnauba finish on it. But it was a crotch piece. But it was a good test of figuring out how to do the footed bowl. I just used the Dremel tool. I didn't have any special tools for it, but it worked out. And then
Nice, Billy.
Also did a I guess you'd say it's a copy of the Bat Mug. If I can turn it the right way, you could probably see it's a Chipper Jones Bat Mug. I hollowed it out, and I wanted to use a baseball bat, but I couldn't really find a good quality one, so I just used a piece of elm that I had, and it turned out pretty good. It's just a conversation piece. I laser engraved the outside of it. Turned out really good. That's all I've got.
What kind of laser engraver do you use?
That's great. I've got the little Niji Master like Mr. Johnny and Boss Man's got.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Niji Master 2. It works real well. I haven't ventured away from the original software, so I'm kind of limited with what I can do, but I kind of work my way around it.
Looks nice. Before we continue gallery, I think Jeff has got us a safety moment at 7:00 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Jeff, can you join us for a few moments?
Yep, thanks for getting me here. All right, let me just bring up my list. Write it down so I don't forget. Okay, something we heard from Kate about your hearing plug, hearing protection and stuff. Protect your ears, especially when you're, loud chainsaw, things like that. So make sure your woods, make sure it doesn't hit the pull rest. Check that the spindle's not locked. Simple mistake, if you got a spindle locked, you turn it on, you might burn out your belt like that, and you're gonna have a bad night. So double check it, make you spin it. Don't turn tired, don't turn or fatigued. Don't put your hand on turning wood. Make sure it's stopped before you go putting your hand on. Seen a lot of demos lately as it's slowing down, they put their hand on. And, these guys got a bunch of nicks on their hand. You wonder why, Seen still bandsaw table injuries on Facebook all the time. Be careful. I've seen, the old guys, they all got their fingers. They have jigs and things to hold the stuff away from the blade. You know, think about it. If somebody's watching you do a cut on a bandsaw table saw, they start going like this, you probably need to do something a little bit safer. You know, think about what your mother would think. All right. All right. Be safe. May the bell be with you. All right.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
We do a
Thanks,
safety
Jeff.
moment, but every moment should be a safety moment. I don't want to lose anybody to an injury. Brenda doesn't need any more members to that club. It's okay. She created the Band-Aid Club for your best of interest. I think we're going to go to Cade right now.
Yes, sir.
Hi, everyone. I have a couple of things I can show. A couple birdmouth hollow forms here, preparing for a demo I'm doing next week. This is a brown maple hollow form, pith still within it. It's turned to 1/8 of an inch wall thickness, and this one was dyed yellow on the inside.
It's a nice touch.
It's turned wet, and it was this shape, but after it dried, the end grain elongates and the side grain squishes, so it makes it almost heart-shaped as it dries. So they're turned probably 20% water moisture. Here's another one. It's not fresh cut, so I'm having a shower. It's probably a few months after it's been cut, so it's still wet enough and I'm not getting soaked. Here is another one. This is also brown maple with the pith still within it. Turned to 1/8 of an inch. And this one I painted black on the inside. Shiny enough I can see myself in it. And again, it was turned in this shape. And as it dried, it warped slightly squat or oval.
Maple,
So
the best hats I've made have been out of maple because they go oblong.
Yeah, can I ask,
Yeah,
did you turn those twice turned or just to the full thickness?
No, everything I turn, I only turn once. I don't do twice turned and waiting years for wood to dry.
Okay.
I turn it to the final wall thickness, and then depending how thick I turn that, it's dry within weeks or days, depending how thin you go. And if it warps, it moves, it adds character.
But you're not getting any hairline cracks in what?
No. No, the key is consistent wall thickness all the way down, so it dries evenly and consistently.
Right,
If you have inconsistent wall thickness, it will dry at different rates, and it will shift and it will crack probably in half. So
And
the key is consistent.
The bottom that wall thickness thing, when you turn it, the bottom is integral to the entire program.
Yes.
And you leave a heavy bottom and thin walls.
Yeah, I usually do thin walls and match the base to the walls. That way it doesn't overly warp and twist, and then I have a wobbly drunken bottom. If it's consistent throughout, including the base, it will dry consistently, minimal warping. You won't have a drunken bowl. It only warps this way.
They're beautiful work, sir. Beautiful work.
Thanks.
Very
And
nice,
then I
Terry.
just have one more thing. A lot of people showing off wig stands today. That's great. They all look beautiful, and it is a great cause. So yesterday I turned this one. This is made out of ash. Turned with the skew and then the Ellsworth gouge for the top and bottom. This is practice for my free demo this weekend. And I did one last week. I had a little bit of extra time on my hands in between all my production and commissions. So I decided to do a little bit of wood burning and a little bit of off-center turning.
Ooh.
So the spindle is turned off-center on 8-axis. The base is turned, and I followed the grain pattern of the wood. And on the base, I did a zebra stripe pattern. On the shaft, I did a leopard print pattern, which I did with my razor tip wood burner. And then on the top, I did a tiger stripe pattern. And that continues all the way across the bottom too. Very time consuming. Now the leopard print was all shaded, so it's solid color, but the zebra print and the tiger stripe print.
Oh, we lost you a second. Good.
Oh no, Kate, we lost you.
Yeah, Cade, you blinked out there. I don't know if you can hear us.
He's just not moving.
He's froze on mine. There he is.
There you are.
You're back.
I can hear you. So yeah, so where I was the leopard print and the zebra print. That was all stipple art. So like back in school, you would do stipple art where it would be thousands of dots of different shades to create a picture. This is thousands of dots to create the texture as well as the color, and it followed the grain patterns within the wood. But the leopard print is solid just with my shader. But the bottom and the top, I didn't count on this piece, but I did do a bowl at one time and I counted the dots and it was something like 2,227 dots. But this one I didn't count.
We need to get Billy Joel to verify that count.
It's probably up there. So that's it for today.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Gerald Avery posted something in our chat tonight that he has a different laser engraver that he picked up.
It's a K. Sorry.
I'm sorry. I know that.
No problem at all. No problem.
It all did come out right. But he said he found a ORTUR Master 2 at Amazon, and he's got that in chat tonight. So if you're looking for it, and Jack from Victoria, Texas says hello to everybody from Victoria, Texas. Nick Barnes has got a couple of pieces he wants to show. So if we can go back to our gallery again, it's 10 after the hour.
Right. Let's pick it up with Bob. He's got
Okay.
something in mind
How's
here.
everybody doing tonight?
Hey,
Well, all
Bob.
right, Bob, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Hey, Bob.
Got a piece of spalted sycamore that I did.
What's a weird looking birdhouse?
And naturally, the bottom
I
looks
think you
better
could
than
do
the top
both,
does.
too.
Say again, Bob?
It's finished with Minwax antique oil. And then I've got another piece here. It's a piece of ash. It's a piece of natural edge. And it picks it up pretty good. But you can see the grain makes an elephant's head. There's his ears. There's his head and his eyes and his trunk and his two tusks.
Hey, Bob.
See that? Wow.
You should
I planned that way.
Bob, you should employ Cade's dot.
Well, I'll tell you, I was hoping I'd show my stuff before Cade instead of after Cade stuff.
Now
This was about
go in with your
beautiful,
almost a 1/4 inch thick, and that's what I got tonight.
Right on. Thank you.
Nice.
Gorgeous. Jan said it.
Nice job.
Love
It
that.
sits like this. So
Oh, beauty. That's like a wing bowl, propeller flopping, flying around on the lathe.
See you tomorrow.
it was a piece of wood that was curved. It was a branch and it was bent like this.
Yeah. That's very nice. Well
Thank you.
done.
Very nice.
Bob, appreciate you sharing tonight. Who else do we have up?
We've got Scott Tague up next.
Scott.
Hey, Scott.
Can you see?
You gotta pull it back towards you, Scott. The camera's looking at the top of your head. Pull it, there you go. Back towards you. Yes.
There we go.
There we are.
I made a vase today out of a piece of pin cherry. So
Very
I
nice.
haven't drilled the hole in it yet. I haven't got my glass tubes yet, but soon I will drill the hole in it and finish it. I've been locked up for the last week. My wife came down with COVID last week right after the meeting, so I'm spending a lot of time in the shop.
Sorry to hear that.
He's doing good now.
Good, good. Glad to hear that. Thank you, Scott. Have a great evening, sir.
You too.
I know we have some more gallery popping up tonight.
Oh, yeah, we've got a lot coming in now.
One moment. I was supposed to have a demonstration tonight for you folks, and I screwed up. I know it's never happened before, but somebody offered to do a demo for us, and I told them no, thank you, because I had 2 other folks doing a demo for us. That's not a demo for us. I was talking about the 2 guys. So I don't have one. We'll set it up for another week and we'll do it. We've got a lot of possibilities and we have a lot of folks want to get involved. You can get involved. Really, you want to do a demo? This is a place to do a demo. You're all invited. Now I'm going to go back to the gallery because we got a whole lot of stuff coming in. I can see them on the chat. They're stacked up. Who you got?
Hey, Eddie, do you want me to, if you want, I can go out in the shop. It won't take but a few minutes to set that up. I can show them how to turn the wig stand.
All right. I want you to set it up and give me a holler back.
All right. I'll go set it up.
That'll work. Thanks. All right, Rick Barnes, you're up.
Hey, Rick.
We could do a demo on what not to do.
Rick.
I'm here. Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute myself. Anyway, I was playing around with some stuff. We got a little wood, apple
Hold it back
bowl
towards
here.
you. There you go.
That's gorgeous.
And apple tree came out of the backyard. Been whittling on it off and on. There's a little lidded pot. I did the same out of the same tree. Worked out pretty nice for me. And then I had one piece of ambrosia maple left. I've turned it into a platter. And it came out really nice this time. This makes my 4th ambrosia platter that I've done. And it's gone already, so I'll get it tomorrow. But that's all I've got.
Thank you.
Gorgeous work.
Appreciate you.
Gorgeous work.
Beautiful.
Well, we're going to get Dean to go out in the shop and turn something for us. That's the beauty of this. This is instant. So what else we have here, Kate?
I think we got Randy Smith up.
Randy, you're on the deck.
I built I'm unmuted, yes. I built some time ago a Celtic knot, a way to make Celtic knot pens and bottle stoppers and pepper mills. And this is what it looks like. Let me go up here.
We have it on a share screen. You should be able to do that.
This is a simple jig that I make up. If you want to make an odd number of segments on a piece, go into your favorite spreadsheet, put in a couple of numbers in the same column, print out a pie chart, clean it up. Oh, come on. Am I in there?
We see.
Yeah, I'm and make a board, put a pin through it. And I also make a little stopper to go over it because otherwise I will have blood all over. Put the pin through it and then place your piece over it into the pinhole and mark wherever the pie chart meets. And that way you can get a good odd number of segments on your piece. Now this is the jig that I made. It's a Celtic knot jig. It has a number of features. This is a lead screw that's used to move the inlays that I'm cutting. This is a clamp. This is the fence, and this is where the blank goes, whatever I'm cutting. And this is a hold down because I'm cutting very small pieces. And if I don't hold both sides down, it will launch those pieces, never to be found again. This is a close-up of the lead screw. It's made with 2 coupler nuts that have been sliced in half and then glued into this positioning mount. And this is a close-up of just the positioning mount. It's basically 2 coupler nuts that are 1/4 by 20 psi. A tip, you can use a 7 1/4 inch circular saw blade on a table saw for a narrow curve. And these are the key points. Anybody wants to capture that, they may, or I'll post it in the chat. And these are a bunch of Celtic knot jigs. People have asked me why this kerf has to be exactly the same thickness as the inlay. And here's the reason. If you look closely at this, you'll see that these, this inlay here isn't in line. And that's what happens if you don't align the blank correctly, or you make one of the inlays a little larger than the other ones. So that's it. And I have a construction manual. It will be on IAP, the International Association of Pen Turners, in their library shortly, or I can share it in the chat here.
You share it in the chat, be very nice. Maybe we add it to our website.
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay, I have to ask that before we do it. So thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Great input. You know, the first time I learned, or I thought I learned how to do a Celtic knot, I didn't pay attention to the couple of notes on it about the thickness of the saw blade and the kerf. And I did 3 or 4 pieces that week. And when I brought it back to the club about a month later, the guy that did the demonstration says, wow, that's a really nice technique with those uneven lines. To me, I thought I was bummed out because I couldn't get him to line up. And then he told me the secret that he told everybody else a week ago. But it's a beautiful project if you get into it. I've got several tool handles with Celtic knots in them. All right. Who we have up next?
We got Tom in East Tennessee.
Oh.
Tom, you're on deck, sir.
Okay. First, I want to tell you I'm up for the Procrastinator Award. I bought this lathe like about 20 years ago, and haven't turned anything yet. I look at it every once in a while. I think I need to do something with that. Haven't done anything. Well, finally, I turned something. I made, if I can get on the picture here, a dowel. Drilled a hole in it and attached, you can see it, the collet system.
It looks like a Matt Harbor drill system.
Looks like a who?
Matt Harbor.
No, I wouldn't do that, Eddie.
And then, thanks to Cindy, I can put my skew on there.
Skew.
So now I'm armed and dangerous.
Wait, you have a skew and a lathe? You have a skew and a lathe now.
I now have a skew and a lathe.
Okay, you may be in Brenda's club next week.
Yeah, so far, no Band-Aids.
Have fun.
The finger, but there it is.
Hey, Tom, have you turned your lathe on yet?
That's a great tool.
With that
No,
skew,
Step at a time, one step at a time.
I did turn this down. I swear I did. Using cheap spindle gouge.
well, I'll tell you, to turn it like that is harder than a lot of people think it is. So that's a
You know
good
what?
job. You might be in
Fortunately,
Kate's club now with that skew.
Unfortunately, my camera doesn't show you all the tool marks, so
That gives it character.
yeah.
Nice job.
A firm grip.
That's
a
a
handle,
start.
too.
Anyway.
Very well done.
All right.
Who do we have up, Dane?
John.
Here I am.
Up.
Can you see me?
Talking.
Yep.
I'm talking.
John Shep.
Here I am.
There you are.
I made my first Freedom Pen.
Whoa, all right. All right.
That's nice.
And it's a bullet too.
It's a bullet,
What size?
308.
Nice.
Just
Good
about
range.
perfect size.
Got a black palm top on it.
Now that's a triple turn. That black palm can be a triple turn.
First pen I ever turned.
Wow.
I also
Very
got a
good.
hold of some scrap ambrosia maple, and I made a couple of little bowls.
That's nice.
Those are pretty.
Nice grain in it.
Love it.
And I made a little flat platter.
Right off corners. That's a nice touch.
Yeah,
Nice.
something a little bit different. I don't know, I can't get the light right on here.
Very nice. What's the wood?
It's ambrosia maple.
Oh, okay. Yeah, very
I
nice.
found a cabinet shop that had extra ambrosia maple that they were selling. So I went there to buy it, but the boards were like 10 inches wide and 12 feet long. And I said, I don't need anything that big. So he said, go in the back. All the scrap is back there. So I went in the back and picked up all the scrap for free.
Nice.
So it's only 2 inches thick, but still.
Hey, John.
Price is right.
John,
Yes,
what you ought to do is turn something and bring it back to him, and you'll
I
have
did
a
that.
life.
I did that. I turned him a little bowl and I brought it back to him.
Very nice.
You'll have scrap wood the rest of your life now.
I know.
Right.
Good job.
Somehow I froze.
Well, that's okay. It's okay. We got you, John. It's
Okay, you clicked me off.
nice.
Right.
Turn Corian. Make friends with the Corian shop. Bring them back a 10 or a knob or something, because then you're guaranteed to be back in again. And Kim is with us now.
Kim.
We're a cabinet shop, a cabinet place. They always have good stuff in their dumpster.
Right.
I love digging in their dumpster. So this week I turned a vase. This is spalted oak. I saved this chunk of wood out of my sister's fire pit. And it's kind of a crotch piece, but what I did is I just took my Dremel. I originally wanted to put those like, thumbprint cookies you see. I wanted to kind of do that with this going all the way up, them gradually getting bigger and smaller again. But I don't have a burr. I only have the diamond one. So that was taking forever just to do that. So I was like, you know what? I'll just do some random like swirly whatevers. So the paint I used was Artesa's paint. They have a metallic paint that looks like metal and it's beautiful. So I used that paint and I went from like the dark bronze coppery color all the way to gold. So it kind of changes. Like it's hard to see on camera, but it's beautiful paint. It's the first time I've done something like this before. And then I also added some Artesa's, or you can use any mica powder. It was like a gold mica powder. It's real fine. And I put that in with the finish. So when I painted the resin on, it has a very slight sparkle in it. It's like not too much, but just enough to where it's like, ooh, So anyways, it's a simple little vase that I enjoyed making. This is where the original chainsaw cut was when my brother-in-law cut the wood. So I left it. It reminds me of a mermaid dress, I think it is, where it's really tight around the, it comes down and here's the hip. So it's very feminine shaped, I guess you could say.
I never used to follow a shape skills. Now I've got them all.
That's very nice.
Beautiful.
And this will be this coming Thursday's video, if I can get it edited. So
Hey, Kim, I have a question for you.
yes, sir.
Can we put a challenge on you?
Kim, be careful.
For you to do a resin wig stand?
Ooh, that would be nice.
Make a video of it?
Yes. My best friend just passed away from cancer in December, and I still am trying to find a piece to do for her. I cut her, we were both in hair school together. So she had me shave her head. And so I kept her hair to make something really special with it. So I don't know, that would be, I might be able to incorporate something like that and then donate it, because she did get wigs, she did purchase wigs. And so that might be a good idea to do something. I wouldn't give her hair away to somebody else or anything, but that might be something in memory for her, in honor of her life. That would be, and I've thought about it. That's why I haven't really commented much, because it's like one of those, we're still.
A resin wig stand would be nice for you to do for her.
Yes, I absolutely agree.
Thank you.
Can't wait to see it.
Thanks, Tim.
A lot of things in my world tear me up, but this one really will. All right. Dean, are you ready to go again? Dean checked in again on another screen.
Can you see me?
Hold on.
My camera's
Your
starting
name.
off. Hang on.
We can hear you, but no video.
On one camera. Looking at your studio.
We can see your office.
You're
Hey,
not
see
out.
the studio.
I probably need to turn the one off in the office
Yep.
All right.
because it's not letting me start my video out here.
All right. We'll give you a minute. We can take one more gallery in a moment.
All right.
Dan, who we have up, we'll fill the gap with.
Go to Bray's wood turning.
Ray, you're up, sir.
Yeah, and Dean had turned the crosses, and I had this piece laying down, and if you could see it, you can see this little piece right here. When I seen it laying in the floor, I said, man, that'll make a good cross because it would look like the blood dripping off of it after you make the cross down onto the ground.
Wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That piece is awesome.
That's really nice.
So that, sometimes you just look at a piece of wood and it kind of speaks to you.
Yeah.
Look, Gordon, look what
That's
Gordon
cool.
did tonight. I mean, that was,
That's very nice.
yeah.
And then I've also been making these weed pods.
Pull them back.
This one here is made out of sassafras. And
There you go.
the one thing about turning sassafras, it really smells good.
Yeah. I love the shop after that.
So it's one of those woods that you really enjoy turning. And you can make these really, really quick. These are no time at all. I think I showed one before, but I've been making, I'm probably up to about 40 right now on these things. So, but they sell real quick. So,
I saw those glass and plastic tubes at Hobby Lobby the other day.
Yeah, a guy had gave me some of these years ago, and I have never used them until now. I don't know why. It's just one of those things.
What do they sell the tubes for at Hobby Lobby?
Yeah, I think Hobby Lobby and maybe Michael's might sell them. I'm not sure.
At Michael's and Hobby Lobby.
Yeah. The ones I found online were in packs of 6 or 8 or whatever. And there you can get a pack of, they're singles, which I want to play with. I got a couple ideas for it. Thank you, Bray. Appreciate you showing us. Let's see. Dean, did you get that worked out yet? No one have.
Thanks.
Right.
Still having a little bit of issue getting the video turned on. If we got one more, let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
Let's go to Gerald Avery.
Yeah.
Who you got, Dane?
Hey, Gerald.
Hi. This is a perfume pen. I just got it recently from Penn State Industries. They're on sale right now for, I think it's $2.95 each in the catalog.
You going to give that to somebody for Mother's Day?
You got it.
What's the wood?
I used walnut.
Oh, nice.
And I've got our shine juice on it.
All right. That's a pretty piece. Really nice.
Real nice.
I got my Penn State catalog today. I was amazed at some of the new items they've added.
Well, that item's on page 36.
Okay. And now my only problem getting that catalog is it stops at the boss's desk. I have to go up there and look for it because it isn't coming back to me. And she already took the auto payment, the auto pay thing off my account. So I got to beg for a credit card if I get something. Who's up, Dane?
Well, we're at standstill at the moment.
Well, good. All right. We got a couple of moments out here.
I could show something if you like. I went to the lumber yard today and I picked up some really nice wood. Yeah, just got in. Some really nice bird's eye maple.
Bird's eye maple.
A little bit of wood.
Let's look at it.
So I went to the lumber yard today to pick up some wood for a couple projects, and I saw he had some really nice bird's eye maple, some 5A and 4A, and so I picked up a couple pieces. Here's a piece of ambrosia, and we can see in there all that bird's eye.
Yeah.
You can see the chatoyance in there.
What causes the bird's eye?
It's a fungus that grows on the side of the tree, and it grows on the sun side. That side's not as figured, but I went from the worst to the best. So the next one I got here is just plain maple that's not roasted.
Ooh,
That's pretty.
that's going to sparkle.
That's gonna really pop. So these are all gonna be lids for boxes and stuff, and lids for some hollow forms.
I can send you my address to ship that to.
But
Yeah,
that's
that looks
really
toxic. I don't think you're allowed that in Canada.
I'll
a
come
little
pick
bit
it
of
up.
wood corn. And then the last one I got a piece of roasted bird's eye maple, and this is the 5A. There's some really nice chatoyance in here.
It's flashing.
My ceiling here.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Look at that
That
flash.
is not right. Wow.
Almost 60 years ago, I started in the cabinet shop, and if we got material in like that, we threw it away.
Yeah, throw it in the back of your truck.
Oh,
I wish I knew where I threw it away.
I gotta make.
So yeah, that's all going to be box lids, hollow form lids. I thought about doing some finials, but you won't really see much of the bird's eye in it.
right.
And then I had a couple rolling pins and a couple of things I got to work on. So I picked up this piece of roasted. This is roasted ash. So it's been roasted in a kiln for hours on end. It's roasted all the way through, but it's really going to pop when it's done. And it's tight grain. You can see sort of how tight that grain is. I wanted something very tight because I didn't want any open pores for food or anything to get stuck in. But the other ones I'm going to do out of a curly maple. I just didn't have stuff thick enough for the thicker ones that got ordered.
You know, you got to take care of your wife now for a rolling pin.
Yeah, I know. I added hers into the number, so I got 5 to make, and then 1 for her, so that's 6. I'll whip them off tomorrow. But yeah, I'll get hers done while I'm doing the orders for commissions.
All right. Thank you. Beautiful work, sir. And you have a demo this weekend.
Pardon?
Don't you have a demo coming up this weekend?
Yes, I have a demo on Sunday. It's turn a wig stand. It's a free demo, and it's learn to turn a wig stand, and I'll throw the link in the chat if anyone's interested.
All right, folks, it'll be a great demo. I can tell you straight up front. Dean Grimes is going to do a demo for us. He's on base right now. Dean, I see the camera, so I guess you're back with us.
I'm on camera. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. All right. So this is a block of 2x6, and it's just cut square. So whatever the width is, that's what the length is. Just keeping it simple. I've got it mounted on a woodworm screw, and basically I only go about a 1/2 inch deep with that hole in there to screw it onto the woodworm screw. And so therefore I have a spacer between my chuck and the block of wood. Okay. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this thing round.
Dean, this is nice, but you got to go slow. Tom Moore's with us. It's a learning curve for him. It's, you know.
Okay. All right. So we're going to bring this up. We'll turn it up to about 1100 RPM. And all we're doing at this stage is you'll notice I'm coming in from the side. And let's turn that just in there just a little bit. So as you'll see so many folks on different channels, WoodTube or YouTube stuff, and they're sticking their gouges straight in like that. When you do your hitting end grain, don't do that. Come in from the side. It's easier. So once we get that done, and basically all we're doing there is just making it round. And we could go in just a little bit more, and we will. Once we've got that done, we're going to come around to the bottom here. One thing I want to show you guys, when you lay your tool on your tool rest, that should be center. We're not center there. We need to come down a little bit. Now we're cutting on center. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we want this thing to set flat. And what we're working on here is the bottom. And basically what that does is at that point, it establishes that as flat. Then we're going to come in and just a little bit. Okay, so we're creating a recess in here. Probably could have done a little smoother stuff there. Once that is done, I have got a chuck that has jaws that will fit a 2-inch opening. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up with a 2-inch Forstner bit. We want to turn that lathe speed back down. And all we're doing here is just creating a recess just deep enough for that chuck to grab that. You know, if you're 3/16 of an inch deep, you're good there.
You can't go too deep because you're a wood rim screw on the other side.
Exactly. Now, basically, we're finished with the bottom. Obviously, we'd do a little bit of sanding, but I'm not going to take you guys through sanding tonight. I think most everybody here has sanded something before.
That spacer's a piece of masonite.
It is. Now we're going to go back with the top. So again, we're going to check, make sure that we're not hitting anything there. Going to bring our speed back up around 1100. Making it round, guys. Once we have that round, and we don't, So let's go down just a little bit more.
I'm glad to see that you followed Jeff's guidelines and you didn't check to see if it was round by using your fingers.
You know, all you need is one fistful of splinters and you learn real quick. Don't do that anymore. That is not a good idea. And especially with construction lumber, this stuff doesn't mind sticking in your hand at all.
No, in fact, I think it looks forward to it.
Exactly. Now, guys, I use a set of dividers to mark out my tenons. If you're going to do this, there's one thing you've got to be extremely cautious of. Just the side closest to you touches the wood. If this other side touches the wood, it's coming up in your face. That's not a good day. So let's go ahead and start this back up. Again, we're going to put a tenon right here. So we're going to mark it. And then I'm just going to come in with a bowl gouge. I'm not going to really cut it right now, but I'm just going to get a mark right there.
Camera switch, please.
Get this tailstock a little bit further out of my way here. And basically at this point, we're making the bottom of a bowl. So we're going to come in. Hang on just a second, y'all. For some reason that tailstock wants to be right up there with me today. I should have sharpened some tools before I got back out here, Captain. See how much easier that one cuts, guys? There is no fun in dull tools. In fact, I wish I had a t-shirt that said that. So all we're doing at this point is we're making the bottom of a bowl. And for some reason, I want that tool rest to be high today. Once you've done that, let's go in here where we marked where our tenon's going to be. We're just going to bring it in just a little bit. We want to be able to hold that piece of wood with the chuck. So basically at this point, we're done with our woodworm screw. And by the way, if you're using woodworm screws very much, make you some of those Masonite discs. They are absolutely awesome. And you don't always need that screw to go so far into your wood.
Your tenon was sized to fit that jaw just like you have it, right?
Exactly.
About 1/8 of an inch gap.
And so can you guys tell I hadn't cleaned up since the last video?
Not me, I can't tell.
I can't see a thing.
No.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you.
You don't have
so
room things laying around, do you?
I don't know how you can see through that mask.
He's that good.
It's a little dirty, isn't it?
Just slightly.
Don't
All right,
get a
so
don't get a spark.
exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to put a tenon on this side too. Okay. So let's go ahead and mark that now. Remember, only the side closest to you touches. And then we're going to come in here and we're just going to hit that just enough so that we know where it's at. Okay. Once we've got that done, we're going to start hollowing out this. Again, just like you would do on a bowl. Except now, once we get in there a little bit like that, we're going to start coming back from the other direction. Do you guys have a good visual on exactly what we just did? We're going to come in and we're just going to come across that and smooth it out so it's straight across all the way. Do the same thing here. Just take a shallow cut so we know it's straight. Come in and just make sure that tenon's square there. Again, it doesn't need to be very big. It's just got to hold it for just a moment. And as soon as I see my other Jacob's chuck, here we go. Okay, folks, what we're going to do now is we've got a 3/4 inch Forstner bit and a Jacob's chuck. We're going to bring that up and put a 3/4 inch hole right in the middle. And that 3/4 inch hole is going to be for the spigot on our spindle. It doesn't have to be real deep, and you don't need to drill it going that fast or that slow. So I'm putting that in there maybe a 1/2 inch, maybe a little bit more. Again, I'm not measuring it, just eyeballing it. Again, we would sand this out, but we're finished with this side. So remember, we put a tenon on the top. Now we're going to turn this back around, put it back in the chuck. Take a look at that gap, Eddie. Is that pretty good for me?
I like that gap. I like
that one?
I'm a nut about that gap thing.
Well, it's a good way to keep you out of trouble.
You don't miss the newspaper. Or Brenda's Cub. You know, this.
So the reason we put the tenon on the other side is so we could turn it around and go ahead and finish this top off.
Look at that cut. Look at that cut.
And notice how hard he's holding the tool with his left hand. He's just holding it down, just making sure it doesn't, and riding the bevel's controlling it.
Yeah, the thing is, guys, when you're turning this construction lumber, sharpen these tools, and this tool is dull. It's still cutting, but it's tearing about as much as it's cutting.
Dean, you say construction lumber like it's a dirty word.
No, sir. I like it.
Don't ever use that term scrap wood. Kim will come get you.
Yep, no such thing as scrap wood.
Well, when I first started out, there was a guy in our local wood turning group. He says, "You want to get good?" I said, "Well, yeah, if I want to do anything, I want to get good at it." He said, "Well, quit trying to turn that fancy wood and go get you some 2x4s."
Oh, that's a good challenge. That's right.
Sounds familiar.
And he said, when you can turn a 2x4 and do it right, he said, you're a good turner. Now, I don't know if I'm a good turner or not yet, but I can turn a 2x4. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to take just a second here, and we're going to put a real quick edge. Well, I said it was.
A little while ago, he was chatting with Alfred about the, oh, not, I'm sorry, not Alfred. Somebody else about the dust in the shop, and there's the dust screens he was talking about. You can see with clear, we used to call disc screen on it. Now it's got about 1,000 new names.
At least about.
Dean?
Most of you have probably sat down at a table of somebody's, your aunts, your grandmas, maybe your mamas, and she had plastic on the table.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, that's what that is.
Oh, nice.
I like it because it's a little bit heavier and because it's clear and I don't feel like I'm getting shut in. Okay, so we just turned the top. Now we're going to do the bottom. And let's go ahead and get set up here.
And right now, we're looking at the top of the bottom.
This is the top of the bottom. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to come in and start making a code. Can y'all see the difference in the way that tool's cutting now? One other thing I'm going to do, just to keep me honest, is I'm going to put a mark down there so I don't go too far down. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but did y'all see that was one finger on the top of that tool? I'm not pulling that tool with this hand. Okay, so got one more thing we need to do here. Let's go in. Yeah, I marked for the tenon on the other pieces. We're going to mark one right there. And we're going to come in, and we're just going to identify that line. Okay, so basically at this point, we're going to start hollowing this out, going the other way. How are we doing that?
Well, when these ladies come in after a long, hard day and they take their wig off, we want to give them some place so that they can put their rings, their earrings, maybe a bracelet. And remember, guys, some of these ladies, different types of cancer, but some of them really affect how they feel and their femininity. So put a few curves in there. Make it look like something a lady would have instead of something that a guy would have. I'm sorry. I had that going in front over the top. Okay. So I just want you guys to take a look at that. We got a cove here, then we got a cove here. They can put their rings and jewelry and stuff in here. We're going to round this off just a little bit. Just kind of relieve that edge. Okay. Once we have done that, where did we put that Jacob's chuck? Here we go.
Dick Brewer made a comment that when you work with that Jacob's chuck, keep one hand on it when you pull it back out. It may not cooperate with you.
It's a good idea. It wouldn't be the first time one came out. Okay, and again, the hole we're doing here is just to hold the tenon on the spindle we're getting ready to turn. And guys, with the exception of just a little bit of sanding, we have a bottom.
Now, per Ronnie Barnett's method, you would do this for the top and the bottom about 6 or 8 times in a row before you start to spin.
Exactly. Okay, so now we want to turn a spindle. One of the things that I ran into, my drive center, that's 3/4 of an inch. In fact, it's just a little bit over 3/4 of an inch. You can't make a 3/4 inch tenon if your drive center's up against it and it's bigger than 3/4 of an inch. I took the small drive center that I use on my little pin lathe, put it in an adapter, and stuck it right in the chuck. That way, it gives me plenty of grip, and I don't have to worry about getting too close to it.
Oh, he's rigging up, folks. Cade from Ontario threw in the chat just now. He's used a vapor barrier plastic from Home Depot, and you'll have enough plastic for a lifetime.
There you go.
That's, folks, why you save the chat. When you leave here this evening, last thing you do, besides say goodbye, is save chat.
Yeah, my point kind of pushed back in there a little bit. It always makes it easy when you can't get the point in there.
And you used a 3/4 inch forcing the bit, correct?
I did. I used a 2-inch for creating the recess to put the chuck into, and 3/4 inch for the opening for the spigots and the spindle to go into.
Let's see here. I believe that's still got enough of an edge on it. It might cut something. Okay, so at this point, really all we're doing is we're going to get this thing round. See if y'all got a good view there. Good deal. If you want to check to see if it's round while it's turning, lay your tool up there. It won't collect splinters. If that tool's bouncing, it's not round. So we did make it round. And here's where we start getting into the detailed measurements. This is highly technical, folks, so watch carefully.
Oh boy. Is math involved? Is there math involved? Because we got to go slow for Doug.
Yeah, it's that third middle-sized mark, just shy of 1 inch.
Okay.
So 3/8 of an inch in that way. And then this is a 6-inch ruler and a 12-inch piece. So I'll just go ahead and mark at the end of that ruler. That's getting me close to center, right? We're going to do 3/8 down here again. And we're going to do the same thing there. So with that done, we're going to come in and put a 1-inch mark right there between those other two marks. I'm going to back out a 1/2 inch either side of center. Now
Because-
what we're going to do,
As we have Doug Rowe watching, Doug, it's a little bit like yonder, you know? Now, why did we go 3/8 on the ends?
well, I figured that's about as long of a tenon as we really need. And so we'll get more spindle that way and less hiding it. But
All
that's just I mean, there's no real technical reason. It's just what I came up with. If you want to do a 1/2 inch, go for it. So let's take a look here and see here. I do have a skew chisel here. Basically, at this point, you go ahead and bring the speed back up. And I'm just going to touch those real quick. Make it touch there. We'll come in with a bowl grab. Actually, what I really like to do with this is just a skew chisel, lay it flat, come in, and if you start cutting, raise the back up, push it in. Again, I'm going to lay it on tool rest, pull it back as it starts cutting, raise it up, and push it in. That takes a lot of that wood away in a hurry. Keep wanting to grab that bowl grab instead of spindle grab. And then what we're going to do is we're going to round this over on this end. Just going to basically create a little curve here. One of the things that you would like, you can make a, in fact, I'll just do it real quick. Let's,
Well, if I hadn't lost my recording tool, I would do it. Maybe you guys are right. Maybe I can't do it.
I'm glad I'm not the only one who's always looking for tools.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it's a dust on his face shield, really.
It could be.
It may be.
No, right where all my tools are, you guys. Come on.
How do we know one of you folks didn't go in and get them?
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll come in and make a couple of cuts here. And I'm just going to size that to 7/8. And again, that 7/8 number, I just go to that in mid-air. Now the question is, why did I do that? Basically, that gives us a point to go to. All right. So now we know that both ends are going to be the same where they get narrow there. Okay. Go ahead and bring this on in. Put your camera.
Switch camera.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll round that over just a bit. We're going to do the same thing over here. This outside edge, we'll round that over just a little bit. And then we're going to just come in here and bring that right back down. All right, at that point, we can go ahead and start working on this here. And as many of you have shown, these spindles can be any design you want them to be.
Great chance to practice.
This is excellent practice. And I would challenge each of you, if there's a tool in your arsenal that you're not sure about, that you're having trouble with, use it. Anyway. Once that's done, guys, we're going to come in. We want to make sure that this is size 2 3/4 or smaller.
cellophane in a little bit too much on those. Unless I picked up the wrong, I picked up the wrong set of cellophane. There we go. Looks like that was sized just about right to begin with. I don't know how I got that lucky.
Dean, have you used an open end wrench to do those tenons?
Yeah, that's one of the things that works well. I don't have one set up to do that with.
Well, you got to go to Sears and get the really good Craftsman's when you do that.
Yeah. Well, I think my calipers must have got off just a little bit because, yeah, let's take that down just a little bit more.
Whole lot easier to take more off than put some back.
Isn't that the truth?
Kate Bolger agrees with me about the crescent wrenches working, open end wrenches working well. But Harbor Freight's your greatest source for that. Because then you get a kit with the open end on one end and a box on the other, and you got something to put on a string to keep them around.
Also, keep an eye out at Home Depot or Lowe's or Rona. Sometimes they go on sale. You can get a whole set of wrenches for half price or a third of the cost. And I mean, if you make them all into tenon cutters, I mean, it's really inexpensive if you get them on sale.
There we go, folks.
Oh,
Hey,
that's how
Ronnie.
long it takes a wig to make a wig stand.
Hey, Ronnie, take a look at that. You should make one.
Hey, Ronnie, you think you can do this?
Nice
Looks
job.
great.
Great job.
Thank you, Dean. Very nice. Thank
You
you.
guys are so welcome.
Dean, you might have to do that demo
Good
again so
job.
everybody will get the hang of how to make those.
Well, eventually I'm going to figure it out.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you so much, Dean.
That's great.
That was a last
Dean.
minute, right on a dot spot. You know, he jumped up just like everybody else can and said, "Hey, I can sit up and do a demo for you." And that's it. And Cade's got a great one on YouTube right now. You have to go to his channel on YouTube, Dean Grimes Wood Turning on YouTube, and you'll find Dean Grimes, Grimes, and you will find a great video that he just posted up here. Let me see if I can get this.
I think I put I did. I put the link in the chat earlier.
Okay, that's what you're looking for. Get there, folks. And it's to let you know that he's got one up on how to turn a wig stand. And look at that. They look just like the one he just now did. So,
And
thanks.
I believe that's just Dean's Woodworking for you guys if you're searching YouTube for it.
Dean's Woodworking. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Very well done.
Thank you, sir. We can go back to gallery anytime we're ready, or if you got questions or whatever. We getting a lot of comments tonight, a lot of questions being answered, a lot of things on the chat. And as we say, before you leave, save the chat. But all this goes on our worldwidewoodturners.org website. All this information, this little demo that Dean just did for us, that's going to be an excerpt. It'll be taken out, and Dave will put it in another place. So if you want to come back and see this later, it'll be on our web channel, on our website, worldwidewoodturners.org, and all that information's right there. It's like we got a couple of folks that said the spot's going to happen and the link to spot is there. So if you want to check every day, you go to that link and go to registration, and boom, you'll be there. Do we have anybody up right now for gallery?
Eddie, let me add something. You're looking for tools and stuff like wrenches and stuff. Look at estate sales, flea markets, and pawn shops for used tools.
Oh, yeah.
Find what you want and And, for $1 a piece or even 50 cents a piece in a lot of these places. So,
in the state sales, you'll get some of the quality old tools with good steel, not bargain basement that are close. Remember, if you do that wrench, you have to have a matching Forstner bit size for it. And remember, there are no, I don't know if they're for it, but they don't do it. So get them, make sure they cross over. Dane, did you say we had somebody up for gallery?
No, not at the moment, but Kim's got a question. Go ahead, Kim.
I've got a question.
Go ahead.
I put together a bunch of pieces of wood. In other words, Cade said he was doing some rolling pins, and I want to make some French rolling pins for myself and maybe possibly some to sell. Is there somewhere, or do you know of specific dimensions for the French style rolling pin? How the taper is at the end? Like, is there,
There are blueprints online. If you Google French style rolling pins, it will come up with a couple different dimensions.
Okay.
And if you look at the images in Google, there'll be many different sizes. Your traditional French style rolling pin would be the highest point in the center and taper down on both sides. So you would have a flat surface on either side.
Mm-hmm.
There's also a modified French style rolling pin where the rolling surface is perfectly flat and square, and then it's just tapered on the ends for where your hands would go. Maybe tapered in maybe 2 inches or so.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a couple really good golden or blueprints online if you just Google dimensions for French style rolling pins.
Okay, I didn't know if there was ones that you particularly like. I like to be able to roll my dough because I make like pot stickers. They use steam buns,
Yeah.
and you roll the dough with one hand, the roller, and hold the dough and spin at the same time. Well, traditional rollers you can't do that with. So I didn't know if there was ones that you particularly knew that, because I don't even own one. I just own the traditional style one. So I wasn't sure if there are ones that you know of that have specific dimensions that I can kind of steal and use.
No, not really. I took them from Google, and the ones
Okay.
I did were probably 1.5 inches to 1 3/4 diameter.
Okay.
And then tapered, maybe a 2-inch taper on the ends. And it would taper down to maybe a 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. And they're usually 12 to 14 inches long.
Okay.
The rolling surface, depending on what you're baking. So I mean, like 12, 13, 14-inch pies,
Yeah.
you would want like a 14, 15, 16-inch pin.
Yeah. Awesome.
Kim, Martin just posted in the chat some dimensions for one.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. I will
That's
make sure I print that up. I appreciate it. It'll give me some. I have 4 blanks that I did. I stacked them and cut them on my bandsaw. They're all swiveled, and then swapped them. So then I have 2 different color woods. And then I did it again with another, turned them. I'm going to do a video on it because it's simple and stupid to kind of, call it that. Like, why didn't I think of this before? But it's a really fun way to make multiple colored rolling pins out of, some square stock blanks that I purchased from the yard sale. And so I want to do probably a couple different dimensions, just because.
Yep.
So I appreciate that.
That'd be great. You want to keep it over 1 inch because less than 1 inch, it might warp. It's likely
Yeah.
to warp more than if it's 1.5 inches or 1 3/4 thick. But yeah, I start with 2-inch square stock, cut to probably 14, 16-inch length. And then I turn it out of that down to 1 3/4 or 1.5, depending on what the customer wants.
Yeah. My challenge will be is getting it consistently 1 3/4 all the way down. So I was like, I'm going to go grab a wrench or something from a garage sale or from whatever and just get that size.
That's
Just Spider-Man behind you, Kim.
a good way to. That's probably the trickiest part, is to get a perfectly flat level surface between your 2 tapers.
Yeah.
What I do is I use a roughing spindle gouge, and because it's square corners and it's square flat across the edge, you can use that flat edge to gauge to give you that perfectly flat surface.
Yeah,
and if it does have any sort of irregularities in the surface, you can take a skew and use it as a negative rake scraper and just blend all the highs and lows together.
That's normally what I do with my skews anyway. I don't even use them for what they're supposed to be used for.
Yeah,
I'm getting there.
Like negative rake scrapers.
And another way that you can level that surface perfectly, what I do is I have a couple pieces of 3/4 inch plywood that I cut square. And I use them for like glue blocks. If I'm doing some stabilized boxes or a really expensive wood that I don't want to lose any wood to a tenon or a spigot, I cut these little small pieces of square 3/4 inch
I have a bunch of
plywood.
Yeah.
And then I take my sandpaper and I wrap it just over those corners. I'll throw you up here so you can see. So I just take my sandpaper.
Appreciate it. Nobody puts baby in the corner.
And I wrap it. So I have this flat surface to also sand that surface perfectly flat and square.
Smarty farty.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you.
I made one that's 16 inches long. It's 2 inches in diameter. It's 1.5 on the ends, and it's 5 inches on the taper because I use it for making pizza.
Yes, see, I make pizza too. So
yeah, I found it works good. If you stay big, you can always take it down.
Yeah, I can't put it back on.
That's what I started with. It was 16 inches. It's 2 inches in diameter, 1.5 in diameter at the end.
So do you roll, can you roll that just fine with that diameter with one hand? Do you find that if you wanted to, if you needed to roll it, use one hand, you could? That's where my thing is at. Like, how long is too long to roll it one hand?
This may be a little bit large for that.
Okay.
But, you know, start with it and see what it works with.
That's the 15-inch mark that I use, and she makes the dumpling dough similar to what you were describing, rolling it with one hand and then using the other hand to fixate the dough. So
yeah, you turn it, you're doing this. It's
if you're doing pot stickers.
Yes.
If you're doing pot stickers, make a dumpling rolling pin. A dumpling rolling pin is maybe 5 inches or 6 inches long, and it's a straight taper, so it rolls almost on its side. And those are perfect for dumplings and wontons and pot stickers.
Yeah.
And they're only 6 to 8 inches long, and you could do it one-handed. But if you're going to make a big pin, I would do 12 inches or less if you want to roll it one-handed.
Okay, so the length is going to make a big difference. That's what I was wondering. Like, oh, the one-handed pen should probably be shorter. I mean, at least that's what I see a lot of the ladies using when they're doing their dumplings. It's a shorter pen. So I wasn't sure if it was just because that's what they use and there was a particular reason. I don't know. I'm always doing this and hitting my knuckles. I feel like dragging my knuckles across the counter because I got the old style handled ones, you know, with the thing in the center. Not that there's nothing wrong with them. They have their place. It's just, you know, I like to get fancy sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. If you check out my Facebook, a friend of mine tagged me in the acacia ones I did for him. And I did a thicker baking pin. I did the thinner French pin, and I did a 5-inch and a 6-inch dumpling pins. And you can see those on my Facebook page. The thicker roasted ash, that's going to be the bigger, thicker baker's pin.
Yeah.
Smaller, thinner stock will be the French pin.
Self-defense weapon.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, or the husband gets out of line, get back
yeah, he knows it.
Yeah, I've made several out of red oak, and those work just wonderful as secondary.
Brenda over there. She's Brendan. She's over there going, yeah. You.
Like,
Don't
yeah,
give
I
them
do.
any ideas, Cade. Come on, man.
We don't need Brenda inducing any additional wounds.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Kim. Appreciate you sharing this evening. And
I appreciate
Brenda,
y'all.
with us tonight?
Hey, Doug is with us now. Let's
Oh,
plan
hey,
out
Doug.
and get a shop update.
Is he in the hot tub again?
Well,
I'm not in the hot tub. I just got home. So if any of you want to look on a map from Arizona, I logged in the meeting in Glendale, Arizona. Just got home to Prescott Valley, Arizona. On a map, it's called Prescott, but it's really called Prescott. But at any rate, so about a little over 100 miles. And instead of a book on tape, I had book on club tonight, I guess. But at any rate, so the inspections finally got passed again, and they're back to working on the shop. If you want to spotlight me, I'll show you.
Just spotlight it.
No, I'm looking at somebody else. Well, Sergeant Doug, that's Air Force way of doing it, Sergeant. Now I'm looking at Kate. Hey, now I see my face. Man, I never get ugly.
Oh, wait. Sure, it's your face.
Oh, there's Kate again. He is better looking than me.
Oh, wait. What I'm getting is I'm getting an image of your membership card.
Yeah, now I see the membership card again. I like the little baby.
Junior member program. Yeah, that's right.
That is hilarious.
But that's,
Anyways, so there it is. They are starting the stucco stuff on the outside. So the foam and chicken wire went on today, I guess, while I was at work. And there's the pile of sand. And the inside pretty much still looks the same as the last time I showed it to y'all.
Are you against me or just don't like me?
Whoa.
Alabama laugh, Doug.
Alabama laugh. Yeah.
And you got to say it like the Alabama laugh.
Where's your bed?
I think the bed will probably, let's see, the lathe is going to go like right about in here. So I'll probably turn till I sleep. So the bed will go about right there.
Go by the window.
Yeah, I could throw a cot by the window.
No,
You
good
could put a
time to
little hammock from the ceiling.
I see you put the outlets up at 4 feet.
Yeah. Yep. And so the blue ones are all my 220s. The gray ones are all the 110s. So I kind of had them spread out based on where I think tools will go. And of course, it'll never work out right. But anyway, I started with a plan.
All right. Just have more than you need because you will need them.
Oh, yeah. Just for fun. Here you go.
In the
Now I
last
just
2
took you
months,
all
I've had to move my shop around 3 times because of new tools.
I got a suggestion.
What's that?
What about putting some plugins in the ceiling too? So you can drop light.
So actually, I don't even know if they're in there yet. Let me look up there or not. But so if you can see where the Romex is coming up right there and over there, those are the outlets are going to go up there for my air filters, whatever the heck you call them. Yeah. So I've got one in my current shop already. And then for my birthday, I got a second one. So they'll both get put out here once this is done.
Nice. Hey, Doug, I was in error a minute ago. We had when it was a technical error. This is what I was supposed to have up.
Oh, that is me as a baby. Where did you find my picture?
I wondered if that was actually you.
It does have a dress, so that would make sense.
Right.
That explains a lot, don't it?
Oh my goodness.
You're only 48. You're in a really junior membership program.
There you go. No, I tell people all the time, I say, look, in the Army, I am one of the old men. I'm either dad or grandpa. In my wood turning club, they ask me, does your mom know you're playing with power tools? So
I'm in the same boat.
Thank you, Doug.
Hey, Doug, are you going to plumb in your air? You're going to have overhead air at your workstations?
I am. So So down at this end where you would walk in from my backyard. So I've got some 110 and 220 set up down here. So my air compressor, I seriously doubt I'll upgrade it, and it runs off of 110. So the idea is it's going to sit in that corner there, and then my the air will run up and then go along both sides. And then
Are you going to close in the AC compressor that way you don't hear it?
Say again.
Are you going to close in your AC so you don't have to hear it?
I kind of thought about it, and I still might. If I do decide to do that later on, what's going to happen if I go out this door here to the backyard, my regular shed is right there. So I'm actually thinking about putting the air compressor there and then running some PVC underground and then pipe it back in, and then the air compressor would be in a completely different building. But that's on the down the road list.
Don't use PVC for your airlines.
Not for the airlines, but to run under the ground and then run the airlines in there as a conduit.
Okay. PVC, instead of breaking, can
shatter,
splinter
yeah.
when it if it fails, it can splinter and throw splinters all over the place.
Yeah, no, my airline once I'm actually in the shop and the airline that'll be along the. I'm actually going to use the same stuff that they use for the plumbing, the PET. So there's actually a lot of pretty in-depth videos now on YouTube that have come up over the last couple of years on how people have incorporated the PEX piping into their shop air, and it's pretty slick how they do it.
And it doesn't rattle as much.
Yeah. So I was torn between going that way and going with copper, and I just decided I like the PEX better. If it for whatever reason does break, if I throw something off the lathe and hit it or whatever, the PEX is easier just to cut it out, splice in a new piece and put it in there versus the copper and having to go up there and cut it out and solder in a new piece.
Well, Doug, when you get it all completed, I'm going to come up there and help you dirty the place up.
Hey, you're all invited. I can't pay for your plane tickets, but you're all invited.
Me too, but I'm not cleaning up my mess.
I gotta wait for the border to open.
Thank you, Doug. Great tonight,
Thank
sir.
you, guys. Hey,
Really
and
good.
thanks again one more time for all of you that sent in the pins. I love it. The guys love it. Saturday, like I said, is going to be the big push. We got people stepping off to go take a field trip. And one of the things they're going to get as they're leaving is a pen made by you all. And there'll be more in the future. So if you've got some more that you didn't get sent to me, that's all right. We'll do this again. Just keep saving them up. And then whenever you're ready to ship them to me, go ahead and we'll make it happen.
And the address is on our website, folks, on the front page. How to send Doug Roting pens for our Freedom Pen Project.
One thing to say, Doug, more outlets, more electrical outlets. You're going to cry. You're going to have extension cords everywhere.
I hear you. I've got quite a few in here already, but there's plans for definitely more. So, but yep, I definitely appreciate that. And you are not the first person to tell me that.
You can never.
I got a quad box every 4 feet, and that's not enough.
I hear you.
And the problem with quad boxes is sometimes you can't put 4 because they come flattened, squished, they don't work out for that. Or the electrician puts them in.
I've got somebody in the chat said water freezes in airlines. That is a good tip out there. Mine will all have dehydrators in them and drains. And then again, I do live in Arizona. I do live where it snows, but it doesn't get like Michigan cold here or Colorado cold even. So I'll probably be all right there.
Canada cold.
Yeah, I don't get Canada cold for sure. I absolutely do not.
And you don't
I
get
don't
it
know how many
snowing
of you
here
can-
this morning.
Pardon?
I shoveled snow this year in my shorts, so that'll tell you I don't get as cold as some of you all.
That's awesome.
It was snowing this morning when I left for work.
And where are you at?
Colorado.
Colorado.
Oh, okay.
And then it was probably about 50 by after lunch.
Still
If it
too cold.
snows here, I'm losing my mind.
If it snows in Louisiana, we all go home, get our cars and go driving around.
It's
Somebody
supposed
just put
to be
in the
in
chat,
60s,
Will,
70s tomorrow.
Nice.
somebody just put in the chat, will cigar pens work for donations? Any pen works for donations. I joke and say, make sure you put in black ink because I'm in the Army. But in all seriousness, any color ink, any shape pen, all the troops, regardless of what branch of service they're in, and I do try to get them out to all the different branches, not just the Army. They appreciate whatever they get. They're happy to get a gift. The slim lines are cool because they fit in our uniforms. But again, it might be a nice pen that's going to sit on somebody's desk. I think I've mentioned this before. One of the boxes that Eddie shipped out to me probably had over 300 pens in it. And some of them were these really long, like probably 12-inch long with a knob at the top shape. What we did with those was we put them in one of the shops where soldiers have to come in and sign stuff all the time. Just like you see in a doctor's office where they make the flower top pens so people don't walk off with them. So whatever you send me, we will put to good use and they will go to somebody in the military.
Thank you, Doug. Preserving our freedom, the way we live. Dane, do we have anybody else up for gallery right now?
Yeah, Glenn's got a piece he wants to show off. Hey, Glenn.
I see Glenn in the background right there.
How y'all doing today?
Doing good.
I got a couple little items I finished up this week. I had a little a bowl. It's a box elder, and it's about a 4-inch bowl and about 2 inches tall, and it had a bark inclusion or a hole in here, so I filled it up with some resin, and so you can see the light shining through that. And I just put the red resin in it to kind of match the rest of the red on the box elder.
Oh, it looks good.
That's pretty.
Oh yeah,
That is awesome.
that's
What's your
really
finish?
nice. Really pops.
What finish do you have on it, Glenn?
This one I used triple E and then that shallow wax.
Very nice.
Got it.
And I
Thing
usually
is so shiny that it looks like when you first held it up there, almost looked like marble because it's so shiny. It's beautiful.
yeah. I try to sand everything up to about 600, and then well, this one too, I went over it with the little more than 600 with those little pads up to like 12,000. Since it had this resin, I wanted to make sure I got the scratches out of it. So
with the micro mesh? Was
no,
it micro mesh?
No, I didn't use those. It's just those other little.
The little pads for like doing pens, right?
Yes.
Okay, yep, they're micro mesh. They go 1,500 up to 12,000, right?
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep, they're really good for acrylics and plastics. Yeah.
You get the lines out, you can't see through them.
Yeah. And then I also I turned my first hollow form this week, and it's a turned a vase. It's out of ash, and the
nice.
grain in it just couldn't believe how the grain ended up in it.
And that is beautiful.
And then I ended up I put about 6 coats of spray lacquer, and then I was just going to put some Hampshire sheen on it, but I put it too thick and it was clumping on me. So I went back over it with Yorkshire grit, and that got all that the wax off. But then when I went back on it again, I used some of the that Axe polishing wax, because that was a lot softer and it didn't clump up like the Hampshire sheen did. So I guess with the Hampshire sheen, I should have just done little areas at a time, and then I put too much on at once too. But no, to me, it shined like glass. So
Axe polishing paste does a really good job on a good finish. It does.
That spot right there between those two dots almost looks like a rose. Yeah, right there where you put your finger at.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you was holding at it, it looked like a rose at first.
Oh, that
Or
a
Hello
little kitty.
You folks scare me sometimes of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, let's do it.
But that's all I got.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, Glenn.
You're welcome.
I had a question.
Keen, look at him.
Okay, let me unmute myself. Okay, got, all right. Well, our club's doing the wig stand. This is a piece of mesquite that we did it, and you know, most of my stuff's going to be out of mesquite, and so. But I got a piece of box elder, and it's like what Glenn's got. Glenn and I are doing this stuff together, and so this is a piece of box elder, and I turned it to this form, and it was punky, and it had about a 40 grit sandpaper texture on it. It was so rough, and I says, I believe I can save this thing, and so I put about 3 coats of thin CA glue on it, made a light cut. I said, yeah, I think I can save it. Put 3 more coats on there. I made a light cut. I said, it looked pretty good. So then I went ahead and hollowed it. And then I come back and made the final cut on it. And then I had super glue all over it. So I put a super glue finish on it. I get a lot of compliments on it, and I say, God created it. I just turned it, you know.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
When you plan on it my way.
That is beautiful. A box elder.
And this is end grain of a end grain turning of North Fork Island pine. And of course, we got the forks on this branches on this side. They always got a hole in the center. I filled that up with some stone. Of course, this side here is just the pit and stuff, a little bit of spalding in it. And this has also got a CA glue finish on it.
Nice piece, really nice.
Very pretty.
And because of that wig stand, we throwing you back in that wig stand warrior pack again.
Oh, thank you.
Recognize members for their accomplishments. That's it.
Thanks.
Jason, I think I heard you say you had a question.
Jason?
Oh, yeah. So you were talking about hollow forms. I actually picked up a bunch of tools the other day. And yeah, some of them are hollowing tools, and I haven't figured out how to use them yet. So one of them was a Robert Sorby hollowing tool. So I don't know. I haven't really done a whole lot. And then I ended up with these Kelton. I think that's Kelton. But I couldn't find anything online about them.
I've never heard of them.
The Keltons are a quarry tool.
Let's see the old end of them. I think I've got that set.
Is it for boring or hollowing?
I don't know.
Yes.
So there's the
I
other
have
end of
those
them.
same ones. I have a bunch of those same ones someone gave me, and the handle is super long, and you connect it all together. I did use it to hollow out something. Yes, it
Coring tool.
Exactly.
I actually have my drill bit piece. It fit perfect in it, so it works pretty good.
Someone gave me the same one, and it has a ton of tips, probably 15
Then
tips.
I don't know, would that be a bowl gouge, or would that be more of a spindle?
Because of
no,
how thin the flute is.
I think
That's a bowl gouge.
I don't know how the flute is.
Deep. I'd go for bowl gouge. Yeah, Irish grind or Ellsworth grind on.
Yeah, that's got a replaceable tip on it.
Yeah, and I do have another tip for it too.
So you said that's a
But
hollowing? Someone
yeah,
said that's a
these I have
hollowing system?
no clue.
That's a hollowing.
The angled ones in your right hand are hollowing. The one in your left hand is an Irish grind or a Ellsworth grind bowl gouge.
Yeah, I have mine.
Okay.
You have like several different angles, right? That it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I believe that bowl gouge, I may be wrong, but I think that's a wood cut when you start looking to change tips on it or something.
Now, when you sharpen those, you sharpen the top sides or the front sides, like this.
Sharpen the bevel on those. I've got a few sets that, because they come in different sizes. I've got 2 or 3 different sizes of those. But yeah, you just sharpen on the bevel with a diamond hone or something like that,
like a scraper.
But they have a hardened
like
tip. There's a sort of a sliver of, they call it stellite on those on the top surface, and it gives it a harder edge.
I hollowed out a huge piece of cherry vase with one of those, and it about slung me across the shop. So be careful.
Oh, yeah. They can be very aggressive.
Yeah,
they work very well. Yeah.
I was sweating, and it took me like 5 hours to hollow out. Well, it was a pretty big vase, but it took me about 5 hours to hollow out something with those things. It was scary.
Did they cut good?
Determined. Yeah, it's a fun time.
They cut
Hey,
good.
Jason, I have a comment on those.
Yeah.
When you're using those hollowing tools, the curved ones that you had got, they work quite well. Just make absolutely sure that you keep the straight part of the shank of the tool on the tool rest. Do not get further in than that. Don't try to get the tool rest in on the curve. It has to be straight and center line with a handle. If you get it too far, it's going to twist on you. You look at it and you'll see the torque. If the tool rest is up so that it's going to come in, it's going to twist the whole tool on you. You have to make sure you got the tool rest back far enough to stay on the straight part of the shank and keep the center line in line with the cutting tip.
Jason, will you look at those and see if they do have, see if they have a flat spot, because I had to take mine over to my sander and make a flat spot because mine were completely round, and that was the issue I was having. I kept wanting to twist because there's no flat spot on the bottom of that.
What happened?
Yeah, they're
everything froze.
Pretty rounded.
Yeah, see, mine was completely rounded. There's
On
no
that
flat
side.
spot. So I took it over to my sander and just sanded a flat spot on it so I could, because it was like, that's why I was having an arm wrestle with it, because it was wanting to take me with it.
But then use with those, you want to be able to rotate the tool to adjust the cut. So I wouldn't put a flat on them personally.
If you've got a flat spot, then you're going to be digging into your tool rest. You want to be able to rotate it slightly as you're inside your hollow form.
Yeah, I don't know. Does any of y'all have that exact system?
I don't.
The reason it was twisting is because you had the tool rest too close to the tip. You had the tool rest in on the curve, and that gives it a torque. The tool rest has to be back out on the straight part of the shank.
My base was like a 12-inch deep, so I mean, I was in there.
If it's twisted out there, you've probably got the tool rest too low.
Okay, I understand what you're saying, but like the whole tool is rounded. I should probably go grab mine so you guys can see, but it's difficult to keep it from twisting. Like, I think that's what was the hard part of the whole turn, was doing this to keep it from twisting. So I, of course,
that was probably because you had so much steel overhanging the tool rest in the hollow form. It was like a teeter-totter, constantly touching the wood.
But the handle, what's crazy is the handle, there's another handle that attaches onto that to make it like, so you can be in your neighbor's yard and hollow your vase. I mean, that's how long it is. It's crazy.
I do like the weight on the handle, because the handle on here is very heavy.
At that other end, do you have another attachment for that end? Another
I
handle
don't.
that hooks on there. See, mine.
I think this one's about 3/8 roughly.
Yeah.
So, but I figure, I don't know, I probably will find something that'll, I mean, it is set up for another tool.
Yeah, well, it comes with different tips. It comes with 2 different size tips.
The McNaughton hollowing system uses that handle too.
What system? I'm sorry.
The McNaughton hollowing system uses that handle because I
Oh.
had one.
Yeah, for me, it's been, I mean, I guess I just got to use it and figure it out. Hopefully not destroy anything, but I came across a guy that was retiring and moving, and I added a lot of extra tools to the shop. So
one tip I will give you on that tool is before you start using it, lay it flat down on the bench and make a black mark or a colored mark on the very top center of it. Typically when I'm using mine, I'm going to use it as a little bit of a negative rake. So I'm going to tilt that mark over to the left just a little bit. But by having that mark there, you know where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Very good tip.
Yeah. You want to be cutting at center or slightly below, never above.
Exactly.
Otherwise, you'll get one hell of a catch. It'll wake
That
you up
reference-
really quick.
That reference mark he was just talking about, with that ball cutter that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks, the ball mill cutter, the same thing with that tool is put a reference line, just so you have a line that you can mindset to and say, okay, I want it over here, or I want it over here, or stay straight true for the best I want. And the other thing is, all those tools you have there that you can't see the tip working, there's nothing in rule book says they only cut the inside of a piece. Learn how to cut on the outside of a piece where you can see what the cutter's doing. And you'll learn how it cuts, scrapes. You get a dig in, where your center should be, where your reference mark needs to be. If you practice that on the outside of a piece, at least you get an idea how the tool works. Same thing with that ball mill cutter. On the outside of a piece, try it. You're going to be so happy with it once you do that, because then you're using on exterior and interior work. Great change. It's coming up on 9 o'clock Central Daylight Time. And Dane says they have some online videos. Search KELTO and Halloween tool for a good set. See, it's in the chat before you get here tonight. Go in that little right-hand corner and save chat. I just did mine. I'm going to save that because I want to make sure I get this before I get busy later on. Anybody else up for gallery tonight?
Okay, we've got Steve Clark.
Steve, are you with us tonight, sir? Steve, you got to talk. Unmute yourself and chat a little bit. If not, we got to skip you. Here's the deal, folks. We have about 88 people on a board right now, participants. We can't do the entire screen and see everybody at one time. So if you want to show something on gallery and Dane introduces you, you need to start talking to you pop up in our preview gallery.
All right, so we're going to go to Rich Orchards. How you doing, Rich?
Hey, Rich.
Hi. I took and turned this wing bowl this week. It's all solid walnut.
Nice.
Very nice.
Really nice.
That's real nice.
Thank you.
What do you have on it for a finish?
It's got that Howard feed and wax. Makes it pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. Anything else?
Did you turn it open like that, or did you put a waste block on it?
No, I turned
Did you turn it open wing like that, or did you put a waste block on it?
No, I turned it just open wing like this. I chucked it up with this little lip in here, and then I turned it.
I've turned several of those like that, and I like to glue a waste block on both sides of it. And then you turn it around all the way instead of turning air, and you can make a nice, clean, smooth cut. And then when you're done, just cut the waste block off.
Oh, okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like if you got a 2x6, nail and glue another 2x6 or 2x4 on each side of it. And then you'll start with a round disc and make the whole thing round, turn the bottom out and the top. You'll have everything turned. Well, you won't be turning any air, you'll be turning all wood.
I see.
And then when you're done, just cut the wings off.
Yeah.
Works really nice if you're doing something big.
Yeah, this one's not too big.
What do they call it? A knuckle buster? Yes. All right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you showing this evening. It's some beautiful work. Cade, do we have anybody? I mean, Dane, do we have anybody else?
No, not at the moment, but staying in line with the wing box there. This is one I turned years ago. It's out of ironwood, and I turn it freehand. I don't put a waist block on it at all. I make quite a few of these.
Nice. I love the finish. What is it?
Well, so I could shave in it, like Kate said.
But what did you finish it with?
Well.
It's a good finish.
And it holds up. And
Very
it's
nice.
great for sitting on the countertop for putting knickknacks in, or putting your jewelry in when you're working at the countertop and you're making dough or doing dishes or whatever. That's the niche market that I kind of sell to for boxes like these. So, and they're pretty.
Thank you. All right, have folks signing off now. It is coming up on 9 o'clock, and we try to pull the plug around 9 o'clock. And it's been more than 3 hours. I came on about 5:45, and there was 20 people online already, chatting, talking, and that's what we do. We had a great demonstration by Dean Grimes tonight. He's also got a good one on his YouTube channel, Dean Grimes Woodworking. You'll find them, and it's a good another one. And our webmaster, Dave, will be putting up an excerpt of which is the demonstration available. It takes a couple of days for them to come up, but they get there, and that's where you find it. Before you leave tonight, save the chat. I do this several times during the evening, and it keeps it updated. Remember, if you do it too early, you'll miss anything that comes later. So before you leave this evening, let's say that. With that, folks, we're going to pull the plug. If you'd like to say goodnight, say goodnight. And 1 minute, I'm going to turn it off. That's
Good night.
Good night.
Good morning.
It's a good one, Eddie.
Good night,
What you do, man.
Good night,
Good night, Eddie.